Hey, welcome back. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Evan. I'm a personal trainer, and this is my fitness channel where I talk about health, fitness, and other fun stuff. And thank you so much for joining me today. So today I'm going to be talking about start of a new month, Sober September, tell you what that is in a little bit, and 5 helpful healthy habits to help lose weight if that's what you want to do. Stay tuned and let's get to the channel. Okay, so Sober September. This is nothing new. This is actually something I genius jacked from the Joe Rogan experience with Joe Rogan and his buddies doing Sober October. It is what it sounds like. You're just 1 month sober. They do it more as a fitness challenge. Not only are they staying sober for the month with any substances, but they're also looking to do like a fitness goal. Granted, for me, I just kind of took it as like, you know what, I'll do 1 month of being sober. I think that that's going to be not too hard, but I know that with this pandemic going on, my alcohol consumption has gone up a little bit. Not an alcoholic by any means, but it's just a little bit more than what I'm used to, and I kind of want to change that, and I want to do a little reset. So that's the reason why I want to do Sober September. Now, the reason why I'm doing Sober September and not Sober October is just quite simple. I like beer. I like Oktoberfest beer. I like having Oktoberfest beer in October, but the last 2 years I have not, because I've also been participating in a Sober October with my roommate. This year I just decided to start 1 month early so that I can enjoy in October with Oktoberfest. Just like a little challenge just to show that, hey, you know, I don't need substances. I don't need alcohol to enjoy like a sports game or just to enjoy company. I just think that it's a good idea to do. But yeah, Sober September. This is what I'm doing, and let's get to it. Okay, so 5 helpful healthy habits. Wow. Say that 5 times really fast. Ready? Go. I can't even do it. Healthy helpful habits. Healthy helpful habits. Healthy helpful habits. Healthy helpful habits. Yeah. So that's a tongue twister. Anyways, so 5 helpful healthy habits to help lose weight, if that is your goal. I'm going to give you those 5 habits, but I also think that it's a good little recap to go over that. 1, in order to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. So you need to understand that the calories that you consume, you may be overestimating or actually underestimating how much calories you're consuming and overestimating how much you're moving. So making sure that we can kind of track our actual intake to see how much food we actually get. Now with that, calorie deficit, making sure that you're just eating less than you already do, just in simplest terms, right? Tracking food intake, that is something where it's like, okay, you could keep a food journal, a food log. There are great apps like MyFitnessPal that help you track your food, and it's on your phone. So it's very easily accessed. It's a free app. You can pay for the premium. I just do the free app. It's, again, just a tool to use for tracking. Also, with apps like MyFitnessPal, just use it to track food. When you add in the calories burned from your exercises, I would not apply that into the app as well, because it's not as close to being accurate as far as how much calories we actually expend from these workouts. Again, there's just so much more that we don't know, but all we do know is that moving more is good. All I'm gonna say is just stick to just tracking your food and tracking your calorie intake on that. Don't put in the calorie output, because again, there's so much more that we need to know as far as with tracking our calorie output. I just want to get those 2 things out of the way first before going into these habits. Okay, so number 1, eat slowly. Now, I tell this to people sometimes, and it's very, very, very underrated, actually. So eating slowly. So the reason why we want to eat slowly is, 1, it's actually good for the stomach. If we're consuming a lot of food and we're just scarfing things down, it's gonna be a little bit harder to break down because we didn't break it down as much as we could have in our mouth. Our saliva helps break down the food that we eat, and if we're just doing 1, 2, 3 chomp and then down to the stomach, our stomach is going to actually have to work a little bit more to break down the food. Now, it takes some time in order to get the signals from our stomach to our brain to let us know that we're actually full, but it's kind of delayed. So sometimes we tend to eat super fast and accidentally overeat, and hence why we sometimes gain weight that way. Now with that, it takes about approximately around 20 minutes for the signal in our stomach to reach the brain saying, hey, we're done. But that is something that we need to do. So focusing on eating slowly so that our brain catches up to our stomach with the signals to help us realize that it's like, okay, cool, I'm done. Also, you can savor your food more, tastes a little bit better when like you're actually savoring your food and taking the time to eat your food. Now, habit number 2, eat to 80% full. Again, this is another, like a lot of these habits are gonna sound very common sense like, but sometimes common sense ain't too common. But eat till 80% full. The reason being is that by doing this and you're not finishing the regular amount of food that you're eating, you're going to be naturally in a caloric deficit. Eat until about 20% of your food on the table, or on the plate, I should say. Now, if you're like me and you grew up with the whole entire notion of you can't leave the table until you finish everything on your plate, what I would suggest is getting a smaller plate and then putting your food on that. When you have a smaller plate, you're not able to fit as much food, hence you're not going to be eating nearly as much. So 1, eat slowly. 2, eat till 80% full. By eating till 80% full, you're going to be in a natural caloric deficit. Habit number 3, focusing on eating less processed whole foods rather than the processed foods or like the frozen dinners or the takeout or all of that. The reason being is that when you're eating more, putting more whole foods into your diet, you're gonna be having a lot more nutrient dense foods. And what that means is that they're not gonna be nearly calorically dense. You're gonna have a lot more nutrition. You're gonna be able to eat fuller off of less. So with that being said, making sure that you have like your root vegetables and fruits, you have your whole grains. Also making sure that you're getting enough protein in your diet. The protein is gonna actually really help you stay satiated. What does that mean? It's gonna help keep you full off of less calories. Granted, you wanna make sure that you're eating your fats, but at the same time, you don't wanna overdo it on the fats because the fats are calorically dense, meaning that they have a lot more calories than carbs and protein. Still useful, still need them. Just you want to make sure instead of eating a bunch of avocados, 1 to 2 thumbs per meal should be fine. Making sure that you're eating a good sufficient amount of fruits and veggies in your diet, as well as having a sufficient amount of protein, like I said in the last video with calories and macros. That's going to help you stay fuller, stay a little bit more satiated while you're eating a little bit less. Number 4. 4 is move more. With this pandemic going on, a lot of us haven't been able to move nearly as much. I know that I haven't. I'm in a little small apartment, so my step count has gone way down. So therefore, my food intake has also gone down as well. In order to lose weight, we need to be in a deficit. So again, eating less. But also a great way to not only just eat less, but also start to be a little bit more active. It doesn't have to be super crazy. You don't have to do like straight up 2-a-day CrossFit workouts in order to lose weight. You want to start simple first. What I would suggest, especially if you're just starting out, a lot of the smartphones have like a little step count and they kind of have an average. I know that with an iPhone, you can definitely do that. Or if you have a Fitbit or a smartwatch or an Apple Watch, you can see how many steps that you're taking in a day. So go based off of your last month's average step count per day, and then go ahead and then try to increase it there, or even just try to get to that level first and then start increasing your steps after that. It's gonna take a little bit of time. What I like to do is go on some walks in the evening or in the morning. The last couple of weeks were extremely hot and the air quality was really bad where I've been living at, so it wasn't as useful or healthy for me to go outside. So my goal is to make sure that I'm stepping more this month. Other things too that can help with weight loss is resistance training. Now if you're new, full body 3 times a week should be okay for you. If you are a little bit more intermediate to advanced, then yeah, you can increase this style of training by doing maybe like supersets, progressive overload. Keep your training just about the same, still be intense in those sessions. Make sure that you're recovering, which is another habit later. But your non-exercise activity is what you want to increase. So walking is great because it's low impact and we do it all the time, and you could do it repeatedly every single day. Pretty simple, we know how to walk, and that is something that we can all do. So again, find where you're at, go to where you're at, and then start to increase it a little bit more. So for me, it's like, okay, what would happen if I increase my step count maybe 1,000 steps more every day for the next 2 weeks, and then start increasing it from there, or 2,000 steps more every 2 weeks. So again, it's just about increasing your non-exercise activity, the stuff that you can do daily that doesn't require you to rest. Something that's easy and simple and that you can do repeatedly will help you a lot in the long run. So move more. Now, the last habit, the last one, the one I think that all of these are overlooked. Habit number 5, sleep and recovery. This one is very important and sometimes overlooked, especially for people who are hustling and grinding and trying to get to where they need to go. I know that for me, this was one that I overlooked, and this is the one I sacrificed when I was in college. I was working full-time, I was going to school full-time, I was in theater, and everything was just stacked in my schedule to where I barely got any sleep. So I was averaging around 3.5 hours of sleep, which is not healthy at all. I was getting sick constantly. I was getting injured constantly when I was training just because I wasn't giving my body the rest that it actually needed in order to function properly. This one is very important because, one, when we sleep, that is the time that our bodies actually get to recuperate and build muscle or lose fat and function properly for the next day. When we do lack sleep, lack that time that we need to recover, our bodies actually go into more stress, releasing the stress hormone cortisol, which actually retains body fat and then actually atrophies our muscle. In turn, getting a full night's rest reduces our stress levels and our bodies are able to function properly, like I said before. It actually makes it easier for the process of losing weight or gaining muscle. And then this is the biggest takeaway though. We're able to do things more consistently. And when we do things consistently over a long period of time, that's when we get results. It isn't an overnight thing. It is a thing day in and day out, over weeks, over months, in order for us to get to our goals. Consistency and sustainability. Those are the 2 key factors in how you'll get to your goals. If it is something simple and easy to follow for you to do, then you'll be more likely to go ahead and do it repeatedly day in and day out. And that is what will help get you to your goal. We gotta think in terms of the long game, not the short, tiny minute-to-minute, day-to-day stuff. You gotta make sure that we gotta think ahead. We gotta make sure that we're thinking, where do I wanna be 3 months from now? Where do I wanna be 6 months from now? Where do I wanna be a year, 3, 5 years from now? We wanna play the long game when we're going into stuff like this. And also just in every aspect of your life. Where do you wanna be 5 years from now? What do you want to be doing 5 years from now? Who do you want to be with 5 years from now? Wow, that turned very motivational. Anyways, those are the 5 healthy, helpful habits. Healthy habits to help lose weight. I hope that these are very helpful for you, and hopefully that you can start implementing these into your daily routine. Now also, I would suggest maybe if these 5 habits are a little bit more overwhelming to all do at once, pick one and start doing that one consistently for 2 weeks. Then after that, go ahead and start adding another habit in while you're already doing that habit. You want to start adding these in over time and focusing on those to help you get to where you need to go. So that's it. So yeah, hope that's helpful. Anyways, I hope that all of this was helpful, guys. That is it. That is the video. Please, 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 if you like the video, please like the video. And if you're not subscribed yet, smash that subscribe button. And if you found it helpful or if you have more questions, please feel free to comment in the comments below to let me know what you liked about it, what you need a little bit more help on, what you want me to speak about a little bit more. And yeah, and I will see you guys in the next one.